Hey guys, 7is2100 here, and pressing F9 as it turns out opens a system generation display, which is the system view screen. I'll show you this later, much later, but I'll probably have to change my benchmarking key, or my video capture hotkey. Anyway, besides the point, this is a continuation of the last video where we left off here, and the last video showed how to install the game and how to create a world. Now, the last video had some problems. Probably one big problem that I found with it is that it had black borders. Now, the black borders, unfortunately, I can't get rid of those. There's no way. And the reason for that is because YouTube records in 16 by 9. Well, that's its preferred resolution. That's the resolution that will get rid of, well, it's the ratio that will get rid of the black bars. That is what YouTube encodes videos in. And my videos are recorded in 1280 by 1024 because that's the resolution that Aurora requires. I can't go any higher than that. My monitor won't display anything above 1280 by 1024. It's as high as it goes. So I can't get 1920 by whatever the next resolution is, because my monitor won't support it. So the only resolution I can play this game in without having problems where I can't see parts of the screen is to play this game in 1280 by 1024, which is not a 16 by 9 ratio. The problem there is then I'm going to get black borders, and there's no way to get rid of those, unfortunately, so there's not much I can do about that. I'd have to get a bigger monitor for that, and I could always do it in 1280 by 720, but that would cut like half the information, well, not half, but a lot of the information off that's required, and that's not good. So, that aside, let's continue. So, this is the main game screen. There are a heap of drop downs, and these open other menus in the game. So, let's start by showing you the most graphical menu in the game, the system maps. This is sort of a main map, and this gives you a graphical representation of the world, the universe in fact, in its current state. You can zoom in and out with the plus and minus, very easy, very easy. To teach you how to use this, give you sort of bearings, clicking on planets will center them. So, start off by centering on Earth. Once you've done that, press the plus to zoom in. If you zoom in far enough, you'll see Earth has a moon orbiting it, lunar. If you set the settings to the settings that were meant to be set for tutorial purposes, then the system should resemble Sol, which is our solar system, and it's real life. So that's that. I'll stop doing that now. And there's a couple of display options here. You can change what's displayed. So for example, system bodies planets. If I untick that, planets go away. If I untick moons, if I zoom in far enough, moons go away. And that's the same for all of them. Orbital paths, very similar. It gets rid of the orbital path, so where it's going to orbit. And that's the same for all of these, obviously. You can turn on the asteroids one, but it's not recommended. It clutters up the screen a crap load, and it's just bogs down the performance a bit. And later on, you get performance issues, especially when you start encountering NPCs. That's the last thing you want. So you can also show names for stars, planets, moons, and asteroids, so you can get rid of the names, obviously. That's obvious. And objects, so you can get rid of colonies, move tail, fleets. But we don't have any of those yet. We can get those. I'll show you how to get those later, particularly the fleets, because that's the best bit about this game. Designing your own ships for combat or whatever you're designing them for. So, this is the body info. This just gives you information on whatever you've clicked on. And that's pretty simple stuff, you know, like body type, the temperature, atmosphere, the gravity. These are all set to real life parameters. One is basically Earth's gravity. Anything lower or higher is different. So for example, this is 0.38 times the gravity of Earth, so you're going to be jumping around, but not as much as on Earth's moon, which has a gravity of 0.17, so you'll be jumping around higher, but not much higher. But anyway, obviously that's uncolonizable, and I'll get to terraforming and stuff later, so we can make this colonizable, but anyway, all bodies will show you all the bodies in the system, and it will show you all their moons if you press the plus or minus keys. That's pretty easy, and the jump points, but we haven't found any. We'll get to that. Sensors, you don't really need to know about this yet. This is just sort of showing you your sensor range, but we don't have any sensors on ships or anything like that yet, so that's pointless. Waypoints, you don't really need to use this. I'm not even familiar with it myself, so leave that. Contacts, when you find civilizations, you know, NPR, whatever, NPCs basically, you'll get contact lists, and you can obviously contact them. Military. Oh god, I just opened up something. Oh, I opened up the task groups, and I've opened up the. Oh, that's the other screen. Okay. These are the. Oh my goodness gracious me. These are the groups. I'm not gonna click anything. You assign ships to groups, and they do things as a group. And this shows you what ships are in what group, and you can open up the task groups from here. Minerals, these are important. You build buildings and ships and whatnot with these minerals, and you can obviously only build ships with the correct amount of minerals. This is how much minerals are currently in the Earth at the moment. We can click on other ones, but yeah, it won't do anything because other drop downs will come once we've discovered other minerals on other planets or asteroids. We haven't discovered any yet. We have to find them ourselves. This shows you how much resources left, what resource, and the ACC, that's accessibility. This sort of simulates how far down the minerals are in the planet or asteroid. So for example, accessibility 1, that's like right on the surface. You can find that just by looking on the surface where you'd normally have a colony. Whereas 0.2 for boronite, that's going to be really, really hard to get. That's going to be towards the core. Display, pretty simple stuff. It shows you displays certain things. It's pretty much like display. It's just display 2. It just shows you more stuff. So that's a system map. And how are we doing for time? I don't actually know. Keep going, I guess. I can always get a thingo to make the video longer than 15 minutes if I have to. I can always break it up. So this next screen I'm showing you, to show you how I got into it